Hey gang, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Before we get started with today's video, take a moment if you're not already a member of the Amy gang and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up and go ahead and hit the little bell so that you get notifications every time I upload a new video. So guys, in today's video, you guys know I like to keep it a buck. And I keep it 100% honest and I keep it 100% real with you guys. So yeah, I got. I was in a rush, and not even really in a rush, just not paying attention to what I was doing because I wanted to get some new makeup because I hadn't really been shopping much lately. Wanted to do some things, had some ideas to do for the channel, and messed around and bought some fake makeup, y'all. Fake makeup. What the heck? So I was browsing around I was on Facebook and I saw the Morphe ad, saw this Morphe ad pop up, which is not unusual. I've actually clicked several of those links and, purchased things from Morphe, from their Facebook ad. So nothing unusual. They as I'm going through, everything looked, copacetic. Everything looks like it's supposed to look. And I saw, they had a couple of Jeffree Star products, which, guys, we know that relationship between Jeffree Star and Morphe has been severed. So they've been liquidating stock. So it looked like they had still had a few things left. And so I was like, well, why not? When the Conspiracy palette first dropped, I was actually in queue to get that palette, and by the time I got to checkout or whatever, it was sold out. And the only thing I was able to get from that launch was the mini controversy palette, which I love. So I was like, okay, cool, I can grab the Conspiracy palette. It's it's a decent price, it's marked down, everything looked legit. So I grabbed the Conspiracy palette and I grabbed a Morphe, I think the 39 something. I grabbed a Morphe palette. So I pay for everything. I get the alert on my phone from PayPal. Now, what it's supposed to say is, this is your receipt for X amount of dollars from Morphe. Well, it says this is your receipt from, and all of these Chinese symbols. And I'm like, oh my God. So I immediately look at the link, at the hyperlink, and sure enough, it's a bootleg link. So instead of saying Morphe.com, it had an A. So it was like Maorphe, Maorphe. So it was, it was thrown off by a letter because it wasn't actually Morphe.com. Immediately I call the bank, like, hey, I think I just got scammed. This is not, the merchant that I typically shop from, blah, blah, blah. So, the bank tells me that, I have to reach out to the merchant because if it is a scam, more than likely they're not going to ship me the merchandise. So reach out to them, make sure I keep all of my email correspondence to them. If I don't get the merchandise, in a decent amount of time, then, send them all the emails and all this stuff so that they can, try to get my money back. Well, I did all of that. The company, which it was some weird name, the company did respond to my email, and they're like, well, we can't cancel this order because it's already been shipped. So I'm like, okay, dang. So I'll wait. And I waited, and it actually did arrive. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the Conspiracy palette. This is a Conspiracy palette. As soon as I pulled this out of the box, I was like, yo, what the heck? So as you guys know, and I'll put a picture of the actual Conspiracy palette here. Jeffree, his packaging is very unique. He does the vaults. This is not a vault. This is not, no, this ain't that at all. So I'm like, okay, let's take a look at it. So I open this up, and immediately, because it was just in a box, the mirror is not covered up. It's flat packaging, and the cellophane is dirty. This is a Conspiracy palette. They did keep the same shade names as the actual palette. They even imprinted the the stamps inside the palette. And so this is the second knockoff. It is the Morphe 3503 Second Nature palette. This is the packaging, right? And let's open it up and see what it looks like. I kid you not, this is what this looks like. Dirty. And so I'm going to move this cellophane. Cellophane is like not clean. There are no shade names. One of the things I noticed off the bat, I hope that the camera focuses. Can you see this, you guys? The pans are not full. So like there's space in these pans. Okay, so let's start with the JS knockoff. And so this is the original mini controversy palette. I'm going to just swatch the shade. I'm going to grab the shade Cancel, which, you know, Jeffree has really buttery, like creamy. His formula is really good and his shadows are really pigmented. So I'm going to pick up this this blue shade Cancel, and I'm going to grab the shimmer shade, the Simulation. So just on my finger, those are the two, and it's very little. Those are the two Jeffree Star shades. So I'm going to swatch the first shade here and the second shade right next to it. That's Jeffree. This is a conspiracy. I'm going to call it that, a conspiracy palette. All right, so that's what that looks like. So I'm going to grab... I'll grab this shade, not a Fact. This purplish shade here. I'm going to pick that shade up. And then I'm going to grab this shade, what should be a shimmer shade. Let's grab this green Illuminati. Let's grab this green shade. I'll grab right here in the corner. And feeling it, you definitely feel the difference. It is not Jeffree Star. It is not Jeffree Star. And so I'm going to swatch that first purple shade right here. And the second Illuminati right next to it. So they almost kind of duped his formula. Like, it doesn't feel bad. And it's not a horrible swatch. Ooh. Wow. Let's take a look at the Morphe one. Guys, so you know Morphe can be hit or miss with its palettes. So I'm just gonna swatch the alleged 3503. And I'm gonna grab this shade right here. And I'm going to grab this matte shade here. And it's like barely showing up on my fingers. And let's just grab one more shimmer shade. Let's grab this, whatever this is right here. And let's give it a swatch. My hand is clean. And so that first one, you can barely see that. The shimmers are okay, I guess. Yeah. So I'm gonna lay a base. I'm gonna go ahead and lay my face, and then when I come back, we'll play in these eyeshadows. So we'll do the conspiracy palette on. Well, we'll do a conspiracy. We'll do a conspiracy on this side, and we'll do 3503 over here. So I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back, and the base is laid, and so my eyes are all ready to jump into these shadows. So first, let's go into a conspiracy, because it really is a conspiracy. Let's pick up this shade here, Tenacian. Next, let's grab this pinky shade Pigment. And I'm going to put that in my actual crease. Next, I want to grab this shade, this deep purple shade, Not a Fact. Okay, pause. This is actually not that bad. And there's like no fallout. um, okay. I'm gonna go back into that pink shade and pick up a little bit of that pigment shade just to blend out the top. So I've been doing this method lately. It works, and so I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna take some glitter glue, and I'm going to I'm not gonna do a cut crease, but I'm gonna just put this on my small lid space. Pick up this shade here, Just a Theory, and we're gonna pop that on top of the glitter glue. I'm gonna go back in this deep shade here, this deep purple shade, and I'm just gonna sweep that under my eye. I'm gonna follow under that with that pink pigment shade just to sweep underneath to blend everything out. So the first thing off the bat that I didn't show you guys, that I forgot to show you guys earlier, this middle shade here is actually supposed to be a pressed glitter. So I have a photo right here of what the original 3503 palette looks like, and you can see that that's supposed to be a pressed glitter, and it's not. They have it just as a regular shimmer. But let's just jump in here and let's do some stuff. Let's do something funky. I'm gonna grab this green shade, and I really have a feeling that this shade is not going to perform. I can barely get it on my brush. I'm gonna take a fluffy blending brush, and I want to try to go back in this green. And it is like barely picking up. This is going to have some fallout for sure. We definitely got some fallout. I'm glad I kind of anticipated that. Let's go ahead and grab ugh. I want to just throw this, I want to just take this and just trash it. Let's grab it's hard to even make out like what's supposed to be a shimmer, what's supposed to be matte. Like, this is just awful. Let's grab this color here. Look at all that. That is a ton. And like tapping off the excess, like cleaned the brush. There's nothing left on the brush. Okay, yeah, this one is absolute trash. Like, I'm almost scared to do it because this required a lot of elbow grease. I'm going to try to dip into this brown shade here and really try to, deepen up. Going back in with that top color and just trying to polish a little bit on here. Gonna again take some glitter adhesive. And I'm just gonna use my finger this time. Let's grab this top shade right here. And let's put it on top of the glitter glue. I'm gonna grab this shade here that should have been the glitter, pressed glitter. I'm gonna pick that up and I'm just gonna tap it on top. I'm gonna dust away this powder. And I'm gonna grab, I don't even know what color to put underneath here. I think I'm just gonna sweep this brown shade, that second transition color. I'm just gonna sweep that underneath my eye. And we'll just keep that kind of neutral under my eye. Okay, I'm gonna pop on some lashes, finish the rest of my face, and then I'll come back with my final thoughts. All right, guys, I'm back. And so this is the finished look. And these are the eyes using these two knockoff palettes. So using a conspiracy palette and the alleged Morphe 3503. So honestly, this they really tried to go neck and neck with this palette. This eye turned out really nice. You know, at first it was like the brown and the pink didn't really want to blend together, but you know, it took a little bit of work to blend those two, but they blended out nicely. And you know, this, not a fact, that shade, I mean, look at that, pigmented, and it blended out nicely. When I went back on top with the pigment shade, that pink pigment shade, it touched it. It worked. It worked. I mean, they really tried to really duplicate the original with this palette. So even though I know it's a fake, I know it's not real, you know it's not real, but it's not like I'll go outside and somebody will say, hey, you're wearing the fake conspiracy palette on your eyes. Like, that's not gonna happen. So I probably honestly, I can see myself using this. I really can. Next, let's get into the 3503. And this is, to say the least, disappointing. I mean, it is the fake that it is. Thank God for the glitter glue. So if you mess around and get one of these janky things, make sure you have some sort of, you know, glitter glue or pigment primer or something, because as you can see, that green, this green here is non-existent. Can't really see it at all. And I really had to, you know, put in some elbow grease to get these browns and that tan to show up. And even this brown really was wasn't as rich as it looks in the pan. But I was able to get the glitters, I was able to get the shimmers to show up by pressing them on top of the glitter adhesive. So that gave me a little bit of sparkle. So I probably will just throw this in the trash, honestly. I can't see myself reaching back into this, and I'm just like looking at some of these, you know, look at that, like looking at some of these mattes, and they're non-existent, and it, you know, it's a lesson learned. I'm just gonna trash this one. I'm gonna throw this one in the trash. So what's the moral of the story here? Pay attention to what you are doing. Make sure that when you are clicking links or you're clicking ads, be it on Facebook or any other social media platform or just on the internet, period, make sure that when you're clicking ads to look at the hyperlink at the top of the screen to make sure that you are on the actual company's website. You want to look for things like, things misspelled. So like in my case, when I finally did look at it, instead of being Morphe.com, it was Morphe.com. So just make sure that you're on the right merchant's website. So just be vigilant in your online shopping. That is the lesson for me. I was a little anxious, really just kind of wanted to do something, trying to get back on the channel to rev things back up. And I just was not being alert, and I was not being attentive to what I was doing. And ultimately I got cat, but it's okay. Thankfully, there has been no fraud, or there's been no additional hits on my card, on my debit card. So there haven't been any money issues. Well, gang, that is it. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through this one. Leave your comments below. Make sure to tell me what you think. Have you been the victim of fake makeup? Have you gotten got? If so, share your story with me. Or did you intentionally buy a knockoff because the original you couldn't find? I don't know. Let's talk about it. This is my first experience with it, and I don't have any irritation or anything. So yeah, we'll just see what happens. If you are not a member of the Amy Gang, when you see my face pop up on the screen, that is another opportunity for you to join the gang. We will be so happy to have you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.